CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
We're talking about scams today and what you need to know to protect yourself. They come in all shapes and sizes and often happen quickly before you even realize it. Good Sunday morning to you. Thanks for watching Public Affairs on Peach. I'm your host, Adam Murphy. There are a lot of fraud alerts out there. Let's start with your car. Atlanta is known as a driving city. We all know that. Predators looking to rip off insurance companies are now making you and your car a target. It's a crime that we all pay for with higher insurance rates. So I got behind the wheel to check it out. If you're one of the millions that commute in Atlanta traffic every day, just like me, you're at risk.
I asked if everyone was okay, and they all had a different ailment. It's my neck, my knee, my eye.
This woman, who did not want to be identified, got tangled in a common insurance scam.
I was stopped at a stop sign, and a car was going to turn left in front of me. So she waved me on. As I was turning, she hit the back of my car.
It's a crime you could easily fall victim to, especially if you're traveling this summer.
Florida and New York have been very much problem states for auto insurance fraud or staged accidents, particularly in urban areas like Atlanta, where we have so much traffic.
Questionable claims in Georgia have been on the rise for the last 3 years, according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau. They cost the insurance industry billions of dollars every year, and it trickles down to our wallets too. In New York City alone, officials estimate that fake auto claims add $241 million to premiums.
We all pay more because people are trying to use auto insurance as a way to make money.
One of the most common types of staged crashes is the swoop and squat, otherwise known as a forced rear ending. Distracted drivers make for easy targets. The driver in back is almost always at fault in a rear ending, and beyond the collision claims, scammers often double their payday by claiming injuries as well.
I knew they weren't telling me the truth. There was no way they could have injured themselves in the way they were describing just by a little bump to my car.
If you suspect that something is not right about this accident, in other words, there's someone coming forward to corroborate everything that the other driver says about what happened, or people showing up, getting out of the car saying they were injured, and you could tell, though, that the car was just had minor damage, then report that to your insurance company.
Other tactics include the forced sideswipe and intentional T-bone. And be extra careful in parking lots, where scammers could be waiting to strike when you back out. Unfortunately, these are not easy scams to avoid, but what you can do is take pictures and video after an accident. Document exactly who was there and their condition after the crash. And as you're exchanging information with the other driver, only trade names, phone numbers, and insurance information. Don't give them your social security number unless you want your identity stolen, and that would add insult to injury. Now, the bottom line, it's up to you to cut out distractions and pay attention to your surroundings when you are behind the wheel. Now, is this something you worry about right here? Needing a costly repair just after the warranty runs out on the vehicle? Extended warranties promise peace of mind, but they're expensive, typically more than $1,000. The Consumer Reports National Research Center checked to see if they're actually worth it. When Edward Rinaldi bought his Honda Pilot, he opted for an extended warranty. But like the majority of people who buy one, he didn't use it.
I paid $1,800 for this warranty, and it turns out I never really needed it whatsoever.
A Consumer Reports survey of 12,000 subscribers found extended warranties are an expensive gamble.
We found that more than half of people who bought an extended warranty never used the coverage. And even among those who did, they spent far more for the coverage than they saved in repairs.
The cost of an extended car warranty averaged more than $1,200. Among those who used it, the median savings was just $837, a net loss of more than $375.
We survey subscribers about all kinds of things, all kinds of products and services, and what we found with extended warranties was that they rated down at the bottom in satisfaction.
Owners of Hondas, Subarus, and Toyotas were especially disappointed with their extended warranties. Less than a quarter of them said they'd buy one if they had it to do again.
Well, Hondas, Subarus, Toyotas, those all tend to be very reliable brands to begin with. So the odds are that those people really had even less need for their extended warranties. And we think that's probably why they were less satisfied.
Like many of those surveyed, Ed Rinaldi said he wouldn't buy an extended warranty again.
I just don't see the necessity for it.
Consumer Reports says the best bet, buy a reliable car and keep it in top shape. A final caution, the Better Business Bureau has received thousands of complaints about extended warranty scams. So if someone tries to sell you one and you're considering it, check with your dealer to make sure the offer is actually legitimate. Now, today, the Better Business Bureau has a new warning for you. It's called a clickbait scam. Some people are using victims of the recent Malaysia Airlines disaster to get your money and identity. It starts as a Facebook post from a crash victim that seems to link to information about the tragedy. Instead, it leads to spam and online gambling. Really sad. Joining me now is Mike Boynton with the Better Business Bureau. Mike, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
A pleasure.
So let's talk about this Malaysian Airlines scam. That's as low as it gets right now.
Well, you know, this is typical perhaps of many other scams when there's a disaster or a tragedy that affects our nation or other nations. American consumers, American public, they like to help people out. But this can be like any other. It's an opportunity for scammers.
And it starts, as we mentioned, as a Facebook post.
It can be very well a Facebook post. Say you're on Facebook and then a pop-up ad appears, and perhaps it's sensational footage of a crash or another disaster. Naturally, it appeals to our emotions. You want to click on that. We encourage consumers, don't take the bait. Be careful about what you click into. If you don't recognize the site, if it's an emotional viewing or footage, it could be a scam.
So explain to me what clickbait means.
Well, it means you taking to clicking when you're on your PC or on your tablet, clicking to a website. Oh. And that website then will take you to, it could be fictitious, and it's an opportunity to install malware on your device, or it could gain access into your system that would provide personal information, personal identity information, and that's where the trouble starts.
Any idea how successful a scam like this is?
It's hard to put a dollar figure on it. We get reports of millions of dollars that are impacted by different consumers. Unfortunately, it's many senior citizens that are taken advantage of because of their willingness to want to help others.
Yeah, it's sad. So what do we do to avoid something like this?
Well, just be cautious before you go to a site that you don't recognize. You can actually, before you go to a site, take your cursor and hover over the site. Mm-hmm. If you don't recognize it, that's a red flag. So beware of that. If you happen to see what you feel like is a suspect scam, Facebook, Twitter, any of those, they would be interested in hearing that information. So you can report that directly to Facebook and Twitter.
You would think, though, that if they just get a few people here and there, they're going to probably make quite a bit of money on a scam like this, just taking advantage of such a tragedy.
They could indeed. Just a few people that are responding to an emotional appeal, it can be well worthwhile to a scammer. So that's why we as consumers have to be cautious and be aware. And
once your identity is compromised, it's a mess.
It is indeed. Then you're changing your closing accounts, you're changing your credit cards. It can be a tremendous inconvenience to you with your time and perhaps loss of some of your money.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate your info. We're going to have you
Certainly.
back here shortly to talk about some other stuff, but very good information. Now stick around this morning. As I mentioned, Mike will be back to talk about tips, the top 5 tips you need to know about mobile banking. Plus, how e-receipts can compromise your personal information. Stay with us. Public Affairs on Peach is back right after this short break.